Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever. It's 12:13 over here. I've been up since 6:45, so that's an accomplishment right there in itself. And in the span of then till now, I saw many crows, for which I'm grateful because when I was like lifting up the shade, I'm like, where the hell are the crows? Because I haven't seen the crows for a couple of days, and that's ridiculous. But I was blessed enough to see many crows this morning. An eagle flew over my house, sweetie. What the hell? That's a blessing right there. An American kestrel um, was out and about. An American robin, juncos, I'm saying it correctly. In my backyard, there are the sparrows, the blue jays, cardinals. Did I say starlings, mourning doves, sparrows, and seagulls? These are all the birds thus far for the morning. So it's been a very beautiful and it's been a very blessed morning. I really can't complain with all those birds. I love birds. And there were just some birds migrating. I'm still working up my knowledge when it comes to like the seabirds, like the ducks and all the other birds that more or less reside around water. I'm I'm getting there. I'm working my way up there, but I just saw like a whole flock of them up there. I guess migrating or doing something. Um, Also, too, what also was a highlight of this morning for me is I've recently, just out of the blue, developed a crush on like somebody in my neighborhood, and I'm very grateful because this person's car broke down, so they couldn't go to work today. So I'm really happy about that. That's a blessing. So that's nice. But I think he's like working on his car, but not in a position where I can see him. So that's very unfortunate. That's really fucked up. Anyway, and all of this has definitely like lifted up my spirits this morning because what I wanted to talk about since yesterday hasn't really gotten me down because it's when something has been such a constant and just dampening one's mood, it becomes expected or it just at some point doesn't even matter anymore. But the birds and my crush's car breaking down, um, was definitely great. Has definitely like helped or whatever. But what I was on about, what I wanted to say as to why like the mood was feeling a little bit damp was drum roll because of my dad. Because of my dad. Um, so I went to go. I saw him very briefly yesterday, and that being because I called him up the day before because I just needed some help with something and I had to go collect it. Important to note, I haven't been to my dad's place since like September. That, of course, with reason, because the last time I was there, like it just didn't feel right. The vibes were very much like off. Um, and it just really becomes clear at a certain point, like it just really becomes exhausting having to deal with a kid in an adult's body. It really, really does. And like it's just like not my job to constantly be having a lot of patience or bending, doing a whole bunch of mental gymnastics, or just a ridiculous amount sense of understanding for, like I said, a parent. Anyway, so yeah, and every time I go visit my dad, he always like makes food for me, like spaghetti, whatever. Sometimes I have to like ask or whatever. Whatever. He knows that whenever I go to visit him, I like to go there and I like to just at least just stay for some time, watch a movie. He'll like make spaghetti or whatever and we just like vibe. Um so yesterday I call it like he calls me whatever to see what time I'm gonna be like around and I'm like, what am I gonna like what are you cooking? Like what am I gonna have? Are you gonna make spaghetti? And he's like, why would I cook? I don't have a reason to cook or whatever. And it's the way he said it, and my dad is the kind of person just like likes to play like a lot of mind games, right? So he knows that he knows that I look forward to his cooking or whatever, but my dad is the kind of dude or whatever that kind of just like likes to be chased after or kind of really wants his attention to be fought for or things of this nature. And he's like, yeah, like why would I don't have a reason to cook for what or whatever. So he said it. I'm just like, okay. Like I just like left it at that. I tell him I'll be like around like 3ish or whatever. I got a little held back. So I didn't like actually get there for 3, but then I call him to like when I'm like on my way or whatever, and he's like, oh, now you're gonna be late. Or whatever. I'm like, late for what? He's like, I had somewhere to be at 4. I'm like, or I have stuff to do at 4, or whatever. No, he didn't. My dad is it again. Also, the other kind of is a person as well too who pretends to be busy all the time, just so I don't. My dad pretends to be busy. He didn't have anything to do. He's like, oh yeah, like to like I like a thing up for whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I can just come, pick it up. Not even gonna come up there, and then I'll just like leave, right? And that's how it went. A little sad about that. It is what it is, whatever, because it just gets very exhausting and it gets very boring. Having a parent who just lies just to lie, all for the sake of it, it gets exhausting having a parent where they expect you to be chasing them all the time, or it gets exhausting just like having a parent who gets a kick out of pretending to be busy, just so you can like beg or think you understand what I'm saying? Like I've been on dates with guys where like why the hell am I over at your place or whatever, and you're not even gonna cook, like there's no food. So guys who aren't even my dad, when I over cook a fucking meal, but my dad knowing that I'm coming over just to visit or whatever, he's gonna be like, I don't have to cook for you. And no, this isn't just like this, right? Like this is just like has been my dad's nature since forever, since like whatever, okay? Um like I don't remember this, but I just know my cousin telling me the story or whatever, that like one like when I was just like younger or whatever, one time, you know, I was like a little kid or whatever, and like I was like hungry or whatever, and I kept like calling him and I was like, Dad, like I'm hungry, whatever. And I had to wait for him to finish watching his show and eating. I had to finish for him to do all that for him to go like make something for me. So my cousin got up, whatever. I went to the store and got and made perhaps I think got me like macaroni or whatever. But I'm bringing up this example just to kind of like this is just the character of like my dad. In one of the videos that I said or whatever, I was just talking about like my dad likes the idea of being a dad, but the actual reality, no. He likes the way like it makes him like look, but when it's like he does not show up like as an actual dad at all. Um, you know what I mean? Like that's just like not normal, right? You shouldn't be having to play you it's not normal to be playing so many mind games with your child, to be lying all the time, just all for the sake. And it's just so deep within his nature now, like I said, it's like turning like 60, I think. I don't even know. 50s or I don't know. But it's just so deep within his nature, like there's no changing him. Right? There's no changing it. He's been like that since I was a kid. And like it sucked because like I was like looking forward just to hanging out with him yesterday or whatever, just like watch a movie and just having some spaghetti, right? But just to just be like, I don't have a reason to cook. Why would I cook? Just to say that and just to pretend that you're busy when I haven't even visited you since September. Just to still be doing all that. And he was expecting me to still like stay or come upstairs or whatever. It's like, no, I'll just wait down here. You can bring whatever it is that I need down and I'll go. And that's what I did. But yeah, that just kind of just like killed the mood for me like a little bit because like I said, who the fuck wants a dad that does that? That's just like that just screams little bitch. It screams little bitch. And I definitely do see how that has impacted the kind of relationships that I've been in the past. 100%. 100%. Um, and it's so unfortunate and it sucks, but you have to go through these things, you have to live, you have to learn, bada bing, bada boom, whatever. But it really is so important in general as well to who you decide to marry and who you decide to have kids with. really is serious. Like, my mom is not a walk in the park either, but when it comes to like Father's Day, whatever, I wish her a happy Father's Day, because between the both of my parents, my mother has done the most. My mother has been the mother and the father. Okay. My dad, his role in my life really is just someone who's just like there. For the most part, my dad was just like there. Um, that sucks. It sucks to just like have a parent where they're just really just like absent, like they're just like there in the background, more or less. You know what I mean? I can't wrap my mind around that. Like, I can't imagine like my child coming to visit me or whatever, or just coming to collect something and just insinuating that, or I can't imagine like my child coming to visit me or whatever, knowing that they look forward to a certain meal that I make or whatever, and just being like, why would I cook? I don't have a reason to cook. I can't imagine my child coming to visit me who I haven't seen in some time, and making up an excuse to be busy so that they can beg me to like not do it, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And I could definitely. It's just ridiculous. It's there comes a point where like you just really need to start being a cunt and just to stop relying on your emotions or your empathy when it comes to dealing with people like this, and just really have to approach it from like a logical sense. Okay, you have to take what you're being given at like face value. Okay, if you're gonna be doing all these mind games, acting like a little bitch, and everything of this nature, then okay, I'm gonna have to be a cunt and to really remove my emotions from the situation and just treat this like a transactional, or just as just a simple encounter, like as if with like a random stranger, because I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that at all. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. Okay? I don't. And this is what I'm like, this is the things that just like really makes me wonder, like, how am I supposed to react, when my parents or just these older figures in my life pass away? Because this is what I'm saying, like once you really see things within their treatment and behavior towards you, like you really cannot unsee it. You really cannot unsee it. Like, that's not normal. That kind of behavior, that level of manipulation is just not normal. It's not. And like honestly, generally, like it really overweighs everything else. It really truly does. And because of all this, like you really just start to realize that, like, honestly, sometimes the people that are family are just simply just people, and really them being your family doesn't really mean a damn thing. Unless you BB, it doesn't mean a damn freaking thing. It really don't. It really truly don't. Um, it gets just ridiculous for certain figures with my life to really expect me to really care or bend myself backwards for them, when what they call love is manipulation. It's just not right. It's just not normal. I just kind of wanted to talk about that. But talking about it, whatever, honestly, from the beginning of the video, when I started talking and I started talking about the birds in my neighbor's car breaking down, like just verbalizing it really put me in a good mood anyway. Like early this morning, I was thinking about like the whole stuff with like my dad or whatever, and it was like a little emo. But since I started talking about what I'm grateful for this morning in the beginning of the video, like I really feel okay. I actually do feel okay. You know, like I'm so happy. Like his car broke down. Um, it's funny though because like I will say like 2 years, like around 2 years ago, like around this time, no, 2 years or so, like around this time, or three, two, bitch, we'll just say two, like around 2 years ago, I had a crush on a barista that like I would see every time I went to like a certain coffee shop. And I guess like what it is, seeing a person like quite frequently, or whatever, I guess like that's just one of the ways in which you can just like develop a crush on a person. And I think also the allure, the mystery of like, oh, like who is this? Like, you know what I mean? Wanting to get to know them like on a deeper like level. All the mystery like really adds to it. And I found his Instagram, not knowing anything about him, but somehow I found his Instagram and followed him or whatever, and we hung out for like we were like cool for like I will say a month or two. We were cool for a month or two. The furthest we ever got was like kissing or whatever. Um, oh my god, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. I really was locked in. When I say locked in, like really finding him on social media and everything. Because the most that we would ever say whenever I go to the coffee shop is me just placing my order. Um, but like in hindsight, like looking back as well too, alright, even then, it was really just me liking the idea of that person rather than actually like liking him. Because over the span of getting to like to know him or whatever, I wasn't intrigued. The fact that it's been 2 months, honey, and I ain't taking off my drawers. You know, your girl wasn't really feeling it. Your girl wasn't really feeling it, because honey, when I'm feeling it, girl, when I'm feeling it, um, but no shade towards that person, or whatever. I just more or less like the idea. Yes, yeah, the bird agrees. What bird is that? Mockingbird. It's a mockingbird. Bitch, did I tell you that I also saw a woodpecker? The starlings at my window right now. Man, they're chasing away the mockingbird. That's so rude, you guys. You guys have to share with the mockingbird. You guys would even have located what the mockingbird found. So don't chase the mockingbird. Come on now. Don't be rude. Get it together. Mockingbird. That's another bird, bitch, that I also tell you that I also saw a freaking woodpecker. But yeah, this video is getting a bit longer than I intended it to be. But anyway, as I was saying with the barista, I like the idea of the barista more so than the actual reality of it. And I'm wondering, is it the same thing with this sudden neighborhood crush? I would like to get to know this neighbor a bit more, but I definitely do think it's more or less just the idea, um, rather than the actual reality. But it's fun though because it adds some spice throughout the day. You know what I mean? Adds some fun. You know what I mean? But anyway, to wrap this up, I guess the moral of this whole video is you don't really get to choose. You don't really get to, well, sometimes we're brought up in an environment or around people who aren't really your cup of tea, whatever. We're in situations, experiences, places, whatever that might not be suiting or might not be one's cup of tea. But despite all that, there's too many other things to be grateful for. There's too much, yeah, there's too many other things to be grateful for and to whatever direct one's focus rather than dwelling on it. That wasn't even the I wasn't even thinking about saying all that, whatever, when I just wanted to talk. But too many things to be grateful for. Like this world is a bit too it's not a bit. The world is extremely beautiful to like let what is the world is too beautiful to let the things that you cannot control dampen your mood. Okay, I can't control my dad's behavior. I can, but I don't want to manipulate. Like, what the fuck? I can't control that. I can't control others people's behavior and treatment towards me, whatever. But what I can do is control the access that I allow to these people, and I can control myself, keep myself in check. It is what it is. It sucks, but that's just really life. That's just the way the cookie fucking crumbles. You know what I mean? But the world is too beautiful anyway. Like, I got to see so many birds this morning, bitch. A freaking eagle flying over my house close enough that I could see his face or her face. you know, Happy and blessed Jupiter Day. I think that's all I want to say.